How you holding up, man?
Yeah, I'm fine today. I mean, I
No,
was,
you
I
you had your
was,
day. You had your day to mourn, to be angry, to yell, to
yeah,
scream,
yeah. I
say
mean,
all that
I
shit.
saw, like, I sobbed a little bit today at lunchtime when I saw the New Heights video.
Right.
Um, because when I sent it in the group chat, I only saw the headline of that
Why do you
post.
this? You sent something without watching it. You did an internet. You did what internet people do.
Yes, because he did not announce it yet. So I was like, ee. And then I
No,
went,
but you heard. But see, this is why you need to read. This is why context matters.
reading takes too much time.
No, no. Good. We're big J journalists here, Jimbo. We're not the little J's. We use the big J. We got to do our due diligence.
He's not retiring. I don't care what anybody says. He's not retiring.
Here's my thought, and I heard Pat say this before. How the fuck now the cat's out of the bag? I mean, we all kind of know anyway. We kind of knew going into this season, since last season was supposed to be his last season.
Yeah.
Now this was his last season, and like I mean, the writing's on the wall. We see it.
Yeah.
Have a big blowout. Have like a big fucking party. Have everything down to like fucking Comcast Live down
Oh
there.
yeah.
Have like a whole big shindig. Have like a bunch of his old teammates and other people come out and have the fans down there and a big goodbye party. Da, 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 like have that.
Have it at the
Like you
stadium.
had the emotional part. Now have like the celebration of this cat brought a Super Bowl to Philadelphia for the first time. He's first ballot Hall of Famer and all this other stuff. And then you can close the show with Taylor Swift. With Taylor Swift. That's all right. He'll shake it off.
And hello there, all you stay tuners. Hey, listen, it might be Eagles. I hate the Eagles. Don't get me wrong here. First quarter, keep it even. Second quarter, start running the fucking ball. Third quarter, take a power nap. Fourth quarter, oh shit, there's the rest of the game. Let's go.
Fuck it, I'm a diabetic. I will root for the team that will literally give me diabetes and death. Rooting for a team from Hershey is like a Catholic rooting for Satan. It doesn't make any sense.
This is Stay Tuned Sports, and it starts in 3, 2, 1.
And hello there, all you stay tuners. Welcome back to another episode of Stay Tuned Sports. It's your good friend Jimbo here. Not too bad today. And there's our good buddy King.
I was going to say, how you holding up there, Jimbo?
I'm, as far as the game, the outcome of the game, I'm past it. I'm on to the whole.
We're on to Cincinnati.
Yeah, we're off to Cincinnati. I'm on to the offseason of, do we fire Nick Sirianni? Do we not? Whose fault was the whole game? Where does the fault lie? And just jump into it right now. I'm kind of, I know I've been saying for what, 2-3 weeks now, Sirianni needs to be fired, or he lost locker room, this and that. Every so often, I'm like, all right, wait a second. Let's think about this here. Andy Reid was with Philly for 14 years. Chip Kelly, a split second. Then Doug Peterson was three or 4 years. Now we're on to Sirianni. It's time that we find an Andy Reid, long tenured coach. Stop at this fucking 3-4 years thing. But then I think about the play calling. It's like, no, he's got to fucking go. So I'm torn, but still on the he needs to go side.
Because here's my tip from an outside perspective.
Okay.
Number one, that game should have been a lot worse than what it was. If the Buccaneers don't drop some passes, they're putting 50 up on you guys.
I was gonna say 70.
It was legitimately that bad. The best defense all night was the Buccaneers dropping their own passes.
Yeah.
So bad. Like
Yes.
it was bad. I went into that. Me and you had kind of a semi argument in the group chat about Nick Sirianni, because I went into that game of the opinion of, listen, this is Nick Sirianni's third year. In his first year, he got you guys to the postseason when nobody saw that happen.
Yeah.
Then he gets you to a Super Bowl and within a Jalen Hurts fumble of winning a Super Bowl. So, like, pretty good. First 2 seasons, we're looking pretty good.
Yeah.
This season starts 10-1. Granted, it was a 10-1, which was like, you kept on calling me a hater, but I was telling you from the jump, I was like, they're 10-1 by the skin of their teeth. They're 10-1 by luck alone. They should have been at best 6-5 with the way some of the breaks happened.
Yeah.
And then that trip to San Francisco, or the San Francisco's trip to Philadelphia, kind of was the pebble in the shoe, if you will, or the final straw that broke the camel's back, going down a hill like a boulder. I don't know the metaphor exactly. I just know that after that San Francisco whooping, it was all downhill against the Cowboys team that they won against and had a very close game with in Philadelphia. They went to Dallas and got blown out.
Yeah.
Then they go to Seattle, lose to a team that at the end didn't make the playoffs. They were a mediocre team. Barely beat the New York Giants, who were bad. I mean, bad. As a Giants fan, bad. We were bad. We were just bad team. Barely beat us. And then needed some calls kind of at the end that were questionable to do so. Then you let the Cardinals put 36 up on you or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
Like this team that can't score, you let them score all over you. And then the last game of the year is why she's there. You let the Giants go 24-0 in the first half when you had all your starters playing.
Yeah.
So, like, I was like, all right, bad end of the year, but still, overall, if you take in total everything that Nick Sirianni has done, like I can't fire him after, yes, it's a historic collapse. Hasn't been done since the New York Jets in 1986, I think it was 85 or 86. Start 10-1, end up not winning your division. Not great.
Yeah.
At the end of that game, I went into the group chat and I said, you know what? I think you're right. I think they have to fire Nick Sirianni. During that game and watching that game, I think Nick Sirianni could have coached himself out of a job.
What was it for you that made you come to that decision?
Several things. Two big things. One, the play call.
Okay.
The play calling was bad, so much so that my fiance's sister, Robin, who is an avid football fan, but I wouldn't say she's a tactical strategist.
An X and O's person.
Right. She's not into the X and O's, but she knows the game.
Yeah.
She was in the chat saying, what the hell kind of play calling is this? Like, this is absurd, the level of play calling. I got a phone call from my father during the third quarter in which he said the exact same thing. He said, what the hell kind of play calling is going on here? Like, none of this makes sense as to what they're trying to do. Like, what are they trying to do?
Yeah.
And the second part, and what might have been the part that kind of tipped me over to the, maybe you got to fire him, and maybe you kind of get a fresh voice in there. Twice in that game, he took points off the board.
The 2-point conversion, I don't understand why he went for that. There was no gain there.
I'm going to tell you what, on either one, I don't understand why. In the game of football, in a game where the points determine who wins and who loses, yes, there was a penalty on the field goal. I understand that you're down at that time. I understand you're looking for a spark. I understand you're looking for anything. You have points on the board. It was still early enough in the third quarter where you could build off that. Get 3 points on the board, You get the ball back. You do something, like try to do something.
Yeah.
But points mean something. Points are good. He takes the points off the board. So it went from 4th and 11 to, or a 4th and 9 to 4. Well, no, wait, because it was 4th and 5, so it must have been 4th and 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's 4th and 10, goes to 4th and 5. And then he calls a play to the back of the end zone. Like was it a fade? Like I don't even know.
Was this after I signed out? After the safety? So I turned the game
before or after. Do you not remember this?
This play, no. So this must happen after the safety, because when the safety happened, I just realized Hurts is so beyond gone for this game that there's no coming back.
But here's the thing: it's not. This isn't on Hurts.
No, I know.
This is the play calling on the you. Okay, you're going to take points off when it's 4th and 5.
Yeah.
To try to convert either the first down or to score. Why not try to get the 5 yards and then get the fresh set of downs to then try to get the touchdown?
Yeah.
Instead, you took 3 points off the board and then tried immediately to go for it all on just, again, a bad play call. I sat there where after I saw that, I was like, maybe you have to start questioning whether or not Nick Sirianni is going to have a job.
Yeah.
Because I'm of the thought, don't take points off the board. Even if there's a penalty, if there's an offsides, if there's a jump, if you got the points, take the points. This is also something else I get into with when I see these teams going for it on 4th down, well within field goal range. Like they'll be on the 15-yard line going for it on a 4th and 3. It's like, take the 3 points. Take the points. Get the points. Always go for the points. You're going to get 3 points if you have a good enough kicker. If you're questioning your kicker, if you have a bad kicker, 1, get a better kicker. 2, I can then understand maybe if you're going for it or if your kicker's hurt or something of that nature.
Yeah.
But when you got Jake Elliott there, right? Is that your kicker still?
Yeah, he's still
I was going to say, like,
he has like 500 straight in a row kicks made or something like that.
He's not a bad kicker.
Yeah.
There's no reason for you to, I don't know. But those were the 2 big reasons in watching that game, watching how that offense played with the play calling that was called. And then Nick Sirianni's decisions to 2 times take points off the board in the hopes of getting more points, and in both instances getting none. And I know the Eagles fans are screaming about, oh, he almost broke Jalen Hurts' neck on the tush push, and it's like, I mean,
he did, but
they're granted he did, but there's 2 schools of thought about that. Of 1, you should have been fucking going for it in first place.
Yeah.
And secondly, when it comes to the tush push, it almost seems like the referees are like, you want it to be a rugby scrum, let it be a rugby scrum.
Yeah.
And they just kind of let it go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and you can feel about that however you want, one way or another. But on top of it, Vita Vea, it seems to be the guy that you're going to do a tush push. He's the guy that's going to stop it.
Yeah.
Because that's not the first time they've stopped it. This is the second time. They're the only team that have been able to stop it.
Yeah.
And I think it's clearly just because Vita Vea is such a large human being that gets lower than Jason Kelsey.
Yeah.
And clearly has been the only person that can do it. So I that's where I'm with on that. I went into that game being like, you got to give Sirianni at least another year, considering how these other years have gone. I came out of that game being like, if they got rid of him, it wouldn't surprise me.
And see, like, I kind of had that thinking earlier in the day. No, later in the day yesterday. Before I went on X or Facebook, I forget where I saw this video of, and it was the play of the safety, and again, that's why I don't say I put too much blame on Jalen Hurts. Him getting basically tackled, intentional grounding, whatever, he wouldn't do that. He's smart enough. He's not Carson Wentz that would hold on to the ball forever. He would throw that ball away. Now, the video I saw was more from the end zone facing the field. None of those receivers were doing scramble drills. They saw him pretty much getting pressured and just said, yeah, I'll just move a foot here or a foot there.
Okay, go ahead.
And that right there, again, kind of shows that the whole team gave up. They don't believe in the coaches, whether it's OCs. And, that's just another reason why I think Sirianni needs to go. Now, they're supposedly having their meeting today, but no announcements will be announced today with Lurie and Sirianni. So
that we know of. Again, we might be sitting here and have another Saban moment.
That's true, yeah.
Well, we're here. That's why I got my burner phone next to me.
The other aspect of the game that I knew we were screwed was that first drive. And what have I been saying? 3-4 weeks in a row, I'll tell you how I feel after a first drive for the offense and the defense. When we literally ran those first 2 plays, I was like, sweet, we're finally doing it. We're finally going to run the ball. And then go 11 straight passes.
Okay, but I'll also say this. In watching the rest of the game, which, I don't know, maybe you went to sleep afterwards or anything like that, the Eagles could not get a run game going.
But you got to still run.
They couldn't do it.
Whether you got a yard or a loss of yard, you still got to run. Not 50%.
But here's the other thing. They were getting stopped on almost every run they were doing. They were not getting any either not getting a lot of positive yardage or any positive yardage on their runs. Yeah. And you're also now down several scores.
Yeah.
Because Tampa and Baker were, and this was the thing I was telling you, if you let Baker cook, there was going to be a problem. And Baker was cooking on Monday night.
Yeah.
And like I said, the only thing that slowed him down was his receivers not catching the ball. Mike Evans had a couple drops. That the one tight end they had there, a couple drops. And he had a couple good catches too, but he also had several drops that hurt them. Like I said, if at the end of the day, if they were having if these receivers were catching the balls that Baker was putting right on the money, that game is 56.
Yeah, that game was over at halftime if they were catching the balls.
And it felt like that. That's the thing. It was still somewhat close at halftime.
Yeah.
But it felt over.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's another thing too of just, I don't know if that's the aura the Eagles were giving off or just what it, it's hard to explain it. But in watching that game, it was just like the Eagles have no chance in this game. Yeah. Just none. And for that precipitous of a fall. And like I said, going into that game, I just thought, and this is the other point. I want to jump back real quickly to the other point you were making about Jalen Hurts. I disagree with you on the fact that I was saying, like, I don't think you can put all this on Jalen. I think that safety is 1,000% on Jalen, because how in the ever-loving Christ Almighty do you take a safety when this line of scrimmage was on the 13 fucking yard line? How? I don't care if the receivers stop moving. I don't care if they didn't do a scramble drill. I don't care. Once you realize that, okay, there is literally nothing open and I've been running around here for about 8 seconds, throw the thing into the third row of the goddamn stands.
But see, that's what I mean. I think he's so broken with Sirianni that he just froze. Like he didn't. No. I think he had a mental lapse.
I don't care if you're getting your. Like, I've seen plenty of quarterbacks get their ass kicked, but still make smart decisions. That wasn't a smart decision. That wasn't a decision that was going to help you stay in the game. That was, I don't know. And so now for that factor, I might be questioning Jalen a little bit. I still think Jalen is your starting quarterback. I've seen people on social media try and say, "Oh, we got to move on." They're starting to compare Jalen Hurts to Tua and to Mac Jones. First of all, everybody, your goddamn bricks.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, there's a hierarchy here. All right. Jalen Hurts, I think, is still a fairly good quarterback. I'm not going to sit here and say elite or anything like that, but seriously, good quarterback. Tua, you can say whatever you want. I think Tua's a decent quarterback. I do.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I understand people will probably shit on me because I think Daniel Jones is still a good quarterback, but whatever. That's fine. It's just my opinion. But to sit there and to put Tua and Jalen Hurts in the same fucking atmosphere as Mac Jones, because they're Alabama quarterbacks, oh, that's a quarterback room that really listen. Be for fucking serious here. All right? Let's fucking use your fucking brains.
That's the problem. Some of them don't have it.
I don't know. But anyway, one thing I know that's going to make you happy, despite the fucking Eagles eagling it. That's it. You guys are getting close to Jets territory with that shit. With that collapse. Well, here's a cool little stat that I said about the Eagles are the first team since I think it was the '85 Jets to go 10-1 but not win their division.
Yeah.
The Eagles are a little bit worse because the Jets at least won their wild card game and played in the divisional round, where the Eagles did not.
I actually like the one stat, but I ended up seeing it on X2 that you put through the group chat. Dallas Cowboys, Mike McCarthy, what was he? 36 and 6 losses in 3 seasons. Nick Sirianni, 38 wins, 5 losses in 3 seasons. Possibly fired. Robert Saleh has won 3 games in 3 years and is
like
guaranteed
16 and 18 or something like that. And it's like secures job in the league, man. He ain't going nowhere. It's like, are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
Like, I get less. That's a whole other problem with the Jets. Maybe we'll get into that a little bit later because, like, listen, I like Aaron Rodgers, I do, but you can't let this guy fucking run your team the way it's going.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, Robert Saleh is 1,000% a coach that needs to be gone. Especially when you look at all the coaches that are out there, and you as the New York Jets are going to be like, I like Saleh, we're going to stick with him.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can do that, man. I don't know if you can do that. But back to the point I was trying to make, something that's going to make you feel good, made me feel good, was Sunday, the first game of the day, 4:00. I know that it was supposed to be Steelers-Bills, but that got moved because of the blizzard. But here we go. The Cowboys. Here we go. What in the fuck happened there?
I'll tell you what. If it was just a straight up win, obviously I'd be happy. But by halftime, I was ear to ear smiling with the how that game was going. I'm like, I picked Green Bay. You laughed at me. I didn't see this coming though. I thought it was gonna be a 3, maybe a 7-point game. Did not see how that first half ending like that.
I didn't see. My brother in Christ. I listen. I think I said this a couple times in the group chat too. We talk about the group chat so much. We're gonna have to like invite people to it.
I was gonna say we have to do like screenshots, but edit out some of the bad shit.
You can join our Discord. The link is in the description down below. By the way, if you want to do that, for the people who are watching on YouTube, for your podcast people, go listen to us on the podcast and then go watch us on YouTube, and then join the Discord. Say it's all simple. I lost my train of thought there. Cowboys, though, my God.
You said it in the group chat a couple times.
I forget what I was even talking about.
Okay.
I honestly, my brain just completely farted.
So that's pretty much how the well, I mean, that's pretty much what the Cowboys did. They totally forgot how to play.
What did I say before?
So,
what did I say before the group chat? I said what were we talking about? Jesus.
So I said how I thought it was gonna be a 3 to 7 point game. Did not see how that first half was going to end like that. And
but I just I honestly I can't even remember what I was talking about where that train of thought was going. But at the end of the day,
kids,
it doesn't matter because just the way that what happened to the Dallas defense?
Yeah. Well,
Like what happened to CeeDee Lamb? What happened to Micah Parsons? What happened to what happened to anything? What happened to anything on that fucking team?
I mean, you knew Dallas was in trouble when, what was it, after the first drive, they were already looking at Dak Prescott and CD talking to each other, or you could see a disconnect there or something. You already knew those two were in trouble.
That's what I was going to say. As a Giants fan.
You're welcome.
As a Giants fan, this is the best playoff weekend I could have ever hoped for.
Fuck you.
Without the Giants actually being in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like both the Cowboys and the Eagles getting blown out in the wild card weekend. The Cowboys getting blown out at home. The Eagles having a historic collapse. Like, this was everything I could have hoped for. And while I thought the Eagles would lose to Tampa, I said that was a bad matchup for you guys. Although, looking at it now, any matchup would have been bad for you guys.
Yeah.
If you guys would have played the Packers, holy shit. They might have put 70 up on you. I don't know. But the Cowboys at home, undefeated at home. Oh, yeah, they had a 16-game regular season winning streak at home, 8-0. I mean, how
And
does a team like that, like, and this is the thing, like, if you're a Cowboys fan, like, you can't even dance. You can't say anything to anybody.
yeah,
You can't go to the Eagles and be like, well, at least we won the division. It's like, who gives a shit? You got blown out at home by the first 7 seed to ever win since they allowed 7 seeds to play.
yeah.
Which is what? This is the third year? Third or
At
fourth
least,
year when
at
they've
least
had 7
second.
seeds since they
Maybe
expanded
third.
the playoffs. So,
Yeah, something like that.
And not only was it, not only did you just barely get beat, like, a 7 seed came in, what a shocking upset. The game was over at halftime.
Yeah.
The Packers pulled Jordan Love in the fourth quarter. Now they put it back in because the Cowboys got a couple garbage time touchdowns. But that's all that did. All that did was make the score look slightly more respectable. Like in the annals of the NFL, 100 years from now, somebody's going to look at that and be like, "Whoa, what a high flying, what a high scoring game! That must have been fun to watch." No. It was boring as shit because it was over at halftime.
And I even had a couple guys at work, because I didn't talk shit to any of my coworkers that were Cowboys fans on Monday. I've learned to wait till Philly plays and then talk your shit if we win.
Right.
And they came up to me and was like, "Oh, you lost there." I said, "No, here's the difference between us and you guys. We were supposed to lose. We were, granted, we were favorites. We were favorites.
You were not supposed to lose. You were favored in that game. I hate to break that to you.
If you watch tape on them or you watch their games, they were supposed to lose against the little Giants even. Dallas was supposed to blow out Green Bay.
Dallas is the bigger loss.
Yes.
Clearly, I think, because of how it was. But the Eagles were not supposed to lose. The Eagles were considered by many people to win. Not anybody on ESPN. I don't know if you saw that, but and that's what also had me scared. When I saw everybody on ESPN do the picks across the board, I was like, oh, that could be on freezing cold takes a little bit later. I hope not. I hope not. But thank God that the Eagles did what they do best and not play football.
Let me ask you this. What were you more happy about, the Dallas loss or the Michael Irvin, Jimmy Johnson meltdowns? Did you see Jimmy Johnson's halftime speech?
I enjoyed all of it equally. I really did. Like Jimmy Johnson trying to give a pep time halftime speech and crying during it was something. I don't know if I got joy from that. I almost got a little bit of pity. It was like a little pity. Like, oh, come on, JJ. Like, you can't do that. You can't do that. The Irving one was entertaining because it was just straight up fucking anger. Like, I love a good angry rant. I love a good fucking, just like, go fuck yourselves. And that's what Michael Irvin said. Michael Irvin just came out and said at the end of it, he's like, all your asses got to go. He wants everybody gone. He wants coaches. He wants players. Dak, see ya. Everybody else, see ya. Mike McCarthy, see ya. Dan Quinn, hit the bricks. He wants everybody out of there. He wants to start fresh. Do you know how angry you have to be for Michael Irvin to tell you blow up the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Like
I was
that's
loving
the
it.
level of the performance they had, though.
I was loving it just because how he was acting on NFL Game Day, I think it was earlier in the day, talking about the Dallas Cowboys all hyped up and just being Michael Irvin-ish.
All of them, Michael Irvin and Jimmy Johnson on Fox pregame, like they were all talking about what did the Cowboys do to get to the NFC, like how are they going to act when they get to the NFC? Not if they're going to get there. They were already saying like how they're going to play, against the Lions or the Rams at home, or how do they get over that San Francisco hump? Because San Francisco beat them so bad in the regular season. Like, how are they going to get over that? Because they've lost to them twice in the playoffs. That are they going to lose 3 times to them? Like, they were already focusing on the 49ers in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
And to go one and done, and not just one and done, but blown, like never even in the game.
Yeah.
And that was another stat that somebody brought up too, that this is the first time since I think it was 2020, but it's also only ever been done 6 times where a division has sent multiple teams to the playoffs.
Okay.
And both of those teams lost without ever having the lead in their games.
Oh, wow.
This was only the 6th time it ever happened.
I saw something like that, but not that specific stat.
I think it was that. I think it was only the 6th time.
Yeah.
That a division sent multiple teams to the playoffs, and both of them didn't have a lead at all in their games.
Yeah.
And of course, then everybody starts screaming, "Oh, East Coast bias! It's why NFC East is supposed to be the great NFC East." And look at how much they suck. And it's like, don't lump us in with these fucking mutants as the Giants. Like, listen, we've sucked for a while. Don't get me wrong. Like, we're not part of anything, great shakes here. But when we get into the playoffs, we usually do something. Like, we beat Minnesota last year. At least we won a game last year. What the fuck the Eagles do, huh? Yeah.
Beat you? You beat Minnesota.
Last year. I'm talking about this year. Last year, at least we won a game. The Eagles this year and the Cowboys, neither one of you did shit.
I will say this about Dallas. Dallas will not be successful in the playoffs until Jerry Jones gives up the GM duties.
Absolutely. No. How are you putting this on Jerry? Jerry has consistently put out the best and most talented team on the field almost every fucking year.
And who hires the coaches?
And every fucking year, it's either bad coaching, or something happens with the players. There's injuries, or there's something in the locker room, or some shit like that. But I will not know. Jerry evaluates the talent correctly. The talent is there. You can't say the talent isn't there. The Cowboys have the talent on both sides of the ball. Ridiculous amounts of talent when it comes to offensive line, defensive line, linebackers, quarterbacks. Fucking wide receivers, running backs. Their quarterback is one of the. He was an MVP candidate halfway through this season.
Yeah.
So I will not sit here.
But who hires the coaches?
And hear people shit on Jerry, saying, "Oh, Jerry Jones is the problem." No, the fuck, he's not.
Jerry Jones has been the problem.
Probably one of the best general managers in the NFL. I'll go that far to say it. Absolutely. So to sit here and say Jerry Jones is the problem? Get the fuck out of here.
There's many problems, many to blame.
Jerry's not one.
Jerry is definitely one.
Maybe his press conferences, maybe you don't like the way he talks to the media all the time. The media loves it, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I love it because I laugh at it.
Maybe you want to say that. But to sit there and say, like, oh, this guy, he's the fucking problem. Jerry Jones is not the fucking problem when it comes to the Cowboys.
So the past couple coaches, who hired the coaches?
No, I'm not going to lie. Maybe
like you said, you said it. Maybe
which is what hurt with Garrett, and at the time when he hired Mike McCarthy, there really wasn't too many other people out there.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna argue with that. But that's why now with this cornucopia of NFL coaching talent that is all of a sudden hit, I don't think he's going to get Belichick. The Cowboys and Belichick just doesn't. That's not a mix.
Yeah,
that's not a fit. I think we can see that. He could get Pete Carroll though. You think Pete Carroll would?
I think
not,
Pete would be equal
Carroll
to.
fits perfectly in that Cowboys kind of
Yeah, but I think he's equal to.
environment, big show, all that kind of stuff. That's Pete Carroll all over.
Yeah, but I think he's equal to McCarthy.
Vrabel,
I think would be better.
You think Pete Carroll's equal to McCarthy?
I think he would do the exact same thing McCarthy's doing with that team. I don't think he would be better. Now, if you look at Sirianni, and let me say this about Sirianni, possibly being fired or staying. You only fire him if you absolutely positively know you could get one of those other coaches. I think Carroll, Vrabel.
What do you want? Do you want to get one of these other coaches, or do you want a fresh start?
If I want a fresh start that's going to be 10 years, I want Vrabel. If I want a Super Bowl next year, maybe the following year, Pete Carroll or Belichick, which Belichick probably isn't coming to Philly because it's coming out that Laurie still has some ill will towards him over the Spygate shit. But again, that's coming from Howard.
Who gives a shit?
That's why I think too.
Nobody gives a shit. And again, reports, people say.
Well, yeah, Howard Eskins.
And this is the other thing. This is why Jerry Jones, I put on a higher level than that, because Jerry's not going to let shit like that get in the way of him trying to better his team.
Yeah.
Oh, there's something I didn't like that somebody did. Oh, can you help me win? All right, welcome aboard. Like that. And also, I may add, fuck you for making me defend Jerry Jones. How dare you? How dare you? But yeah, like
King 0, Jimbo 1.
So like I said,
what was the phrase? Every squirrel finds a nut or whatever. Every blind squirrel finds a nut.
Even a blind squirrel finds a nut.
If you guys have been listening to this podcast long enough, you know I am not a smart individual.
No. I didn't know. You are smart. You are a smart individual. You know what you're talking about. Your ability to express your thoughts can be questionable at times. But no, you're the intelligence is there. It's the communicative ability that.
So the brain is there. It just the mouth doesn't.
This is why we have the term Jimbo gauge.
Yes.
Which is it should have been Jimbo gwitch, like language, but it's Jimbo's gwitch.
Yeah.
But
Jimbo gauge.
He misread language and called it Jimbo gauge. So.
Which
it all makes sense once you know. Once you're around long enough, you get it.
Which, funny side note, and you guys should join the Discord, and you guys will get used to this. I've used the phrase Jimbo gauge to you so much that it comes up on autocorrect for me now.
Does it really?
Yeah, I'll have to take a screenshot next time it does.
But at the end of the day, the problem with the Cowboys is not Jerry Jones. Is it Dak? I don't know. Again, they put my in the beginning of the year, I said, well, I probably coughed in the beginning of the year too, but I said in the beginning of the year that if the Cowboys were going to be successful, you couldn't put the ball in Dak's hands.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys put the ball in Dak's hands, and they were successful. Dak was very good this year. He, like I said, he was an MVP candidate for a lot of the year. People were putting him on that kind of pedestal, which is why a lot of people kind of assumed Dallas was the year they were going to get back to the NFC Championship game, because it was set up in front of them. They had the talent. It looked good. They looked good. It was all there in front of them.
Yeah.
Is this a case of just in the big moments, he's not there? Is this a case of some of these other players in the big moments, they're not there? And as a Cowboys player, coach, anybody associated with the Cowboys, you need to be made for the big moments. That's all the Cowboys are. That's the star. That's the brand. The Cowboys are big moments.
Yeah.
And now we're going on 30 years of them not only just not getting to a Super Bowl, but not getting to an NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
And now we're starting to put them into the likes of, like, again, playoff droughts, championship droughts. When's the last time they won a game? When's the last time they did this? Like all of a sudden it's becoming that kind of situation in Dallas where there is an entire generation of NFL fans that have never seen the Cowboys sniff a championship.
Yeah.
And like to someone like me, the old heads like you and I, who grew up in that 90s Cowboys dynasty, like that's an amazing thought to think about. That because when I still think of the Cowboys, I think of those Cowboys.
It's even,
and to think that the Cowboys are one of the, like they're reaching like maple leaf eras, of futility, of championship futility. It's like, wow, like it's still kind of hard to wrap the mind around.
Yeah, and it's even like with that meme, the father son, and the father son is and the grandfather sitting on the couch, and the son says to the
you trying to explain a meme over a podcast and video is
well,
it's never
as soon
going
as
to work.
As soon as I say it
all the time, it's never going to work.
But the kid says to the father, "Hey Dad, what does a Super Bowl look like as a Dallas Cowboys fan?" I don't know. You got to ask Grandpa. It's getting to the point that it's got to be said. I don't know. You got to ask Great Grandpa.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm glad I can make you laugh.
That was.
Hey, at least the
Theater
Flyers
of the
won
mind,
money.
ladies and gentlemen. Theater of the mind. But like I was saying, just with the Cowboys, you have to be built for the big moments. Have to. It's imperative.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're not like I'm at this point, you have to start thinking about Dak as like the just not a big game quarterback. And maybe that's it. Maybe he's just not built for these moments. And is that something that you have to move on from if you want to be because to be the Cowboys guy, you have to be ready for those moments. And it has been shown over and over again in those clutch moments, he's not there. It reminds me a lot of Lamar Jackson. Now, everybody is talking about Lamar again as the MVP presumptive.
Yeah.
That, he's going to win the MVP award. And again, he had a great regular season, which he's had before. He's won an MVP before, and he's had all these things. But Lamar Jackson has the same amount of playoff wins that Daniel Jones has.
True.
He's 1-3 in the playoffs. He doesn't play well. And also just in general, like in a lot of clutch games, like he either literally doesn't show up like last year, when he just skipped out and said, "Oh, I was injured," when it was apparently came out that he wasn't, or that he was cleared to play but just didn't.
Yeah.
And also just doesn't show up, metaphorically in clutch games, like in clutch situations, like when games are regular season games, or they're not clutch, or they're rolling over teams. Like, yeah, he's great, but when a game gets close, or it's a tough game, or it's a big game, Lamar isn't there.
Do you think he's getting into the Steve Young, getting the monkey off the back type talk?
No, because there was whose monkey is he getting off his back? Like there's like he didn't follow a Joe Montana. He didn't he followed Joe Flacco. Like there's nothing like that.
Yeah.
Like there was no pressure on him from that to begin with. It's just a case of him not performing in the clutch. Now, again, he's got another opportunity to show that he can do that with these playoffs coming up. He's got to play the Texans and C.J. Stroud, who has shown so far this year to be pretty good. Now, what happens in this game? Is Lamar going to be the Lamar that everybody has seen during the regular season? Or is he going to be big game Lamar, which has been invisible? Like, we'll see. But if the Ravens lose, I'll say this: if the Ravens don't make the Super Bowl, the questions are going to get loud.
Yeah.
And I've been saying this for a while, that he seems to fold in big pressure situations, in big pressure games, in big time games, in clutch moments. Lamar Jackson just isn't there. And people yell at me, scream me, "Oh, you're stupid. You don't know what you're saying." I get the racist one a lot. I get the I'm a racist one. Like, I'm sorry, he can't not be clutch because of his race. I don't get people that happens with everybody.
Yeah.
There's a lot of not great big name quarterbacks that aren't there in the clutch. Sorry,
Yeah.
but if he wins, if he beats the Texans, if he's able to get into the AFC Championship game, if he's able to win the AFC Championship game, that's going to go a long way into erasing that moniker from him of, great regular seasons, is an electric player to watch, but folds in the big games.
Yeah.
So again, we'll see. This is another opportunity for him to prove that wrong. If Houston wins, it's going to get loud. It's going to get very loud when it comes to Lamar being a regular season quarterback, like great regular season quarterback, but in the big games, he's not there. And you hope he gets past that. And he's got a test this week. I'm sorry, say what you want, man. This Houston Texans team with C.J. Stroud, what they did to the Browns.
And it's not just C.J. Stroud. I mean, that defense is pretty good too.
Joe Flacco on those 2 pick sixes, like
that was bad.
Like that first one, when he just floated it up there, as soon as it left his hand, I was like, oh no, what are you doing? As soon as it left his hand, I was like, that's picked. I was like, that's picked.
Yeah.
That had pick 6 written as soon as you saw it leave it, it was just like, oh. It was like, oh no. And of course, picked right for the pick 6. And then the very next drive, he panicked, I guess. He's trying to, I can do this. I can still do this. And tried to force it and gone. Yeah. But here's the thing. Is like a lot of people want to say like, oh, well, the game ended there. And oh, well, if it wasn't for those 2 pick sixes. Here's the thing. If they don't have those 2 pick sixes, yeah, the Browns are still losing that game by 20 points.
Yeah.
Like C.J. Stroud was still on his game. That Texans team, that Nico, what the hell's his last name? Why can't I remember his last
name? Nico Collins.
Nico Collins. I mean, and when Tank Dell went down, you were like, oh, they lost one of what a great tandem, a good young quarterback receiver tandem. And then Nico Collins comes out and just, I'm going to make some insane catches that you've never seen before. And still, like, it was, like the Texans are all of a sudden, you got to think they're real. Now, I know they're big underdogs coming up against the Ravens. I think as anybody would be.
Yeah.
The way people are looking at the Ravens. But like my whole thought here is, well, this is playoff Ravens now. Playoff Ravens is different than regular season Ravens.
Yeah. And
we're going to see if this rookie quarterback who's, the old saying of, he doesn't know what he doesn't know he's supposed to, he doesn't know he's not supposed to be there. What does that even fucking mean? Like people say, oh, he's not supposed to know. He doesn't know he's not supposed to be there. Where the fuck is he supposed to be? He's supposed to be playing in the playoffs. That's where everybody's supposed to be. So I some of those sayings I don't get.
Yeah.
But he's going to have a belief, and if you've seen some of his interviews and stuff like that, he doesn't say anything disrespectful. He doesn't say anything out of line, but you feel the confidence in him of just like, no, I'm supposed to be here. I've played in big games. I remember watching his interview with Pat McAfee, and like they were asking him about, how's he going to deal with, a big crowd in Houston and a loud crowd and stuff like that. And he's like, it's a bit of a step down because I used to play in front of 110,000 at Ohio State and stuff like that. And you could sit there and say, like, is he like taking a shot? Like, is that like a disrespectful thing? But I don't think it is. I think it's just him saying, like, everybody wants to say, like, I'm too young or that I'm not used to the big games or big environments. Like, I've played in some big places.
Yeah.
With a ton of people, very loud, big games, big time situations. Like, I know how to handle this.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people like to think that, they were just taking this kid out of diapers and throwing him onto a football field. It's like, that's not what's happening.
Yeah.
So now you have him, big game on the road, Baltimore. And Baltimore has a shaky playoff history with Lamar as quarterback. I'm just saying, I would not be 1,000% surprised if Baltimore loses.
What if Houston blows them out?
What's that?
What if Houston blows them out?
If Houston blows them out, I'll be surprised.
You will be surprised?
I'll be surprised. I'll be surprised if it's a blowout. I'm always surprised at a blowout. Listen, I enjoyed the Cowboys getting blown out.
Yeah.
But that was a fucking surprise. All right. I was surprised. I wanted the Eagles to lose. And I thought the Bucks would beat the Eagles. But the Buccaneers blowing them out was a surprise. And that's another thing. All these wild card games this weekend, except for Detroit and Rams, was a blowout.
Yeah.
Like none of them were really that entertaining.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But
so with the remaining teams, now, probably do our picks a little bit here or whatever, but this is a straight up who you rooting for? Who do you want to see from the AFC as of right now and the NFC as of right now to be in the Super Bowl?
All right. Well, I'll start with the AFC because there's not too many likable teams left for me. Like, I guess I'll root for Houston. I guess they'll be my bandwagon team. And maybe Buffalo. My niece is a big Buffalo Bills fan. How? Why? I don't know. She just ended up liking them as a baby, and she stuck with them. So, I probably a toss up between Houston and the Bills. We've seen the Chiefs enough.
Yeah.
I would like to see Taylor Swift more, but I get it. We can move on. I can always look up pictures of her online anyway, so that's fine. Not in a creepy way.
I was going to say, no, I'm keeping my comments to myself.
I'll shut up. In the NFC, it's the Lions. I think I'm sorry. You got like the Detroit fucking Lions. Like, come on, let's go.
Well,
let's go.
They do have the weather this weekend to worry about.
That lady,
that poor lady,
should immediately have every press credential revoked. Should be immediately let go.
Yeah.
Should find another line of work to go into, because she not only is she embarrassing to journalists, she's embarrassing women everywhere.
But in her defense,
women have fought so hard to fight the stigma of, oh, she's just a woman. She doesn't know football. She doesn't know anything like that. How are you, a football journalist?
Maybe she wasn't
asking. I don't care if you're just a journalist. Just a cursory glance, you know that the Lions have played in a dome of one sort or another for the last 45 years?
Yeah.
When did the Silver Dome open? Like fucking 1980 or so. So it's like 43, 44 years?
Yeah, something like
as
that.
long as I've been alive, the Lions have played in a dome.
Yeah.
That's enough time to understand that the Lions don't play outside. Oh my God.
I'll give Todd Bowles credit because, when she finished the sentence, he had the face of okay, where's Ashton Kutcher, and I'm getting punked type look.
To be fair, Todd Bowles always kind of has that face.
That's true. But one last topic before we get to our picks. Jason Kelce. You think he's retiring? Because he came out today on Wednesday.
I don't think he's retiring. I know he's retiring. He said he's retiring. He just hasn't made the official announcement he's retiring.
He didn't say he's retiring. He's still thinking about it.
He told his teammates in the locker room that he's retiring.
And it's proven and shown that Adam Schefter, when it comes to retirement, breaking news stuff, he's not very good at it.
Jason even said to him, himself on his podcast that he said he let it slip in talking to his teammates in the locker room what his intentions were. Shouldn't have done that because he wants to wait to do it properly and with the right respect for the right people that he wants to be able to thank and to do all that kind of stuff with, both in the game, in the organization, people still playing, things like that. Like he has that, he has a massive respect for the game, which is, again, another reason why a lot of people, and rightfully so, love Jason Kelce. Even me, a Giants fan, love the guy.
But he also did say it's an emotional decision, and that's why he still needs to think about it.
And as he said, it's an emotional decision. Of course, he gets emotional. He's a big guy like me. He's very emotional, wears it on his sleeve.
Yeah.
Like, I cry at sunsets and at the sad movies. Like I do. Like I get it. That's us big guys. We're soft. We're teddy bears.
I
At
was
the
gonna
end
say
of the day,
you're big bears.
we're big, soft, sexy teddy bears. That's all we are. So I get it. And him being one of the sexiest men alive, like I don't know why I'm not on that list yet. I should be, but we'll talk to the people. We'll get there. But like you can tell, and this is where you got to look at all the context clues. Like he was retiring last year
Yeah.
after the Super Bowl, and Howie Roseman kind of talked him back in and was like, "Listen, we look at this team we're building. Look at this what we got. Look at the draft. Like look at all this stuff. Like we're like let's get one more run in here. We can do this, but we can't do it without you." And da da da. So he signs back up. He's ready to go. And and again, it sucks because you're going 10-1. You're thinking, hey, this was a good decision. Maybe this is it. And then the wheels fall off.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that it ended the way it did. But you take all those factors in there of like he was done last year. I got talked into coming back this year. Kind of made it known in general that this was going to be his last ride. And it sucks that it's going to end the way it ends. But I mean, at the end of the day, listen, the man's gone to 2 Super Bowls. He's got a ring if he can find it.
I love that scene.
He's got lovely kids at home. He has an absolute smoke show of a wife.
Yep.
He's got the #1 sports podcast going right now. Something that we aspire to be. That we're never going to get there, but
you never know.
You never know. If I ever get a computer, if I ever get things set up, if we ever got a professional thing going on here, maybe it'll work. I don't know. But you take all those things into account. It's clear what the decision is. I think there's a couple things though, like before he officially announces it, he wants he wants to get the emotion, I guess, out of it, maybe.
Yeah.
Like
or as much as they can,
and then be able to come out and say that he's going to be done.
Here's my couple things about it. Obviously, my head has accepted he's retired. My heart won't. I want to see him back one more year. Hate to see him go out that way. But what was it for me that my head says, okay, he's done, is that clip of him going up to Jeff Stoutland, the offensive line coach. You don't hear what he says to him. All he did was give him a hug, and Stoutland was like, oh shit, he really is retiring. He's supposedly.
I didn't see that. I didn't see that from it. I just saw it as just two guys. Just saying the goodbyes. You saw with the hug what the hug was.
Yeah. Like
you saw when he started hugging some of the coaches and hugging the offensive line coach and dapping up some of the other players. Like you saw, like. That. So I didn't see I didn't see that.
Okay.
Maybe that's how you interpret it. I don't know. Well, again, we see things very differently anyway. Yeah. But I didn't see that, because I think it was known by everybody. Like this was his last run. And so
and the other aspect
kind of
sorry, go ahead.
Doing that. But I'm just saying, like, listen, start planning the trip now for yourself. Anyway, because fuck you, I'm not going.
I'll drag you along.
Going to Canton, 2029. I'll be dead by then anyway. Who fucking knows? 2029. It's first ballot, clearly.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, just start making the plans now. I don't know how far ahead you can book hotel rooms, but for the busy tourist attraction that is Canton, Ohio.
Yeah.
But yeah. Like because that's what he's going to do. So do that. Celebrate the guy. Like I said before, like having now this is out. He gets all the emotion out of the way now, and then like for the official announcement, I was like, have a fucking party, man. Just have a full blowout there at Comcast Live.
I even have it at Lincoln Financial.
No. Because that's going to be too cold, anything like that.
You do it in like April, May.
Well, you can't do it in April. They got WrestleMania coming. So,
Oh, he's gonna show up in April. He's gonna show up at WrestleMania. He's got to.
Listen, why wouldn't he? I think that would be a decent, like a cool little spot there or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and Big Dom come out as
Tag
like
team partners
security for
taking
like
on the
Cody
Usos.
Rhodes or some shit, like some nonsense. Like
only-
Cody Rhodes comes out with a big fake Liberty Bell or something.
The only other aspect of I think why he's not making it official yet, I think he wants to see what's going to happen to Sirianni. If Sirianni gets fired, I think he'll come out the next day and be okay. I'm done. Like he doesn't want. I don't think he would want to come back for a semi rebuild.
I don't. But no, here's the thing. I think any official announcement is going to wait until after the Super Bowl. Because that's just like I said. You kind of heard it in what he said on New Heights.
Yeah.
On the New Heights clip that you refused to listen to. You just read the headline because you're an ass.
I did at lunchtime after I messaged
After
you guys.
You already posted it. I was like, see, he's not retiring. It's like you didn't actually listen to the clip until we pointed that out. But if you listen to the clip from the New Heights one, or you just listen to the New Heights podcast, which I'm assuming a lot of you did because it's the #1 sports podcast.
Yeah.
If you were listening to us, thank you for the tens and tens of you that listen to us. Thank you.
Hey, we're up to 12 a week.
We did well in our first YouTube week. It's been a precipitous drop since then.
Yeah. They always level out eventually.
I want to, he said that there's he has that kind of respect for certain people that he knows within the organization, coaches, staff, front office members, stuff like that, and for the game in and of itself.
Yeah.
That like he's the kind of guy that would never want to go ahead and make a story bigger than what other people are doing. Like that, like being a player, going to the playoffs, other people playing their games, but people are talking about, oh, Jason Kelsey's retiring, or all his players retiring. Like he doesn't want to be that. And you kind of saw how annoyed he was that kind of got leaked.
Yeah.
Out, but I mean, there's leaks and rats everywhere.
Yeah.
These days.
It's a shame that's that way too.
That's just unfortunately the world we live in, the social media world. Anybody who's tried to hold off on watching a show or a movie past its premiere, you can't go on social media, you can't do anything like that because otherwise everybody's just going to be there talking about it. So it doesn't matter what it is. There's leaks everywhere. So at the end of the day, like he said, he's upset by that, but he's not going to do an official announcement or do anything like that. I think until after the Super Bowl, after the season, they'll do a press conference. He'll get teary-eyed. He'll cry. It'll be a thing. And then afterwards, I hope they do some kind of big fucking shindig for him. Because all of Philadelphia will show out. I think you'll even get people from other teams and places coming up and showing out for it because he is one of the most universally well-regarded and well-liked people in the league. Like I said, I'm the biggest Eagles hater you'll ever find. But I love Jason Kelsey. I do. Same way I love John Runyon, just a massive amount of respect for both those guys. So
all I ask is, in case Jason's watching or listening to, first off, hi.
No.
Whether Philly does a parade, a festival, for you for your retirement, if you do retire, or at Canton, you better come back out in the mummer suit. Go into Canton with the mummer suit on.
I don't know if he's going to go into Canton in the mummer suit.
Why?
If they do like a nice celebration for him, that might happen. He might have to break it out. I don't think Travis would let him not do that. Also, Jason, Travis, if you do listen to this show, which first of all, what the fuck are you doing with your time? You got a game to play, first of all, Travis. So calm the fuck down. And Jason, there's a lot better rough stuff out there. Let's be honest. But on the off chance you guys are watching this, Travis, please ignore anything inappropriate that I've ever said about your girlfriend. I do have a massive amount of respect for her, and I do like her very much. And you two are quite the handsome couple. And I've been rooting for you against this guy here, this little devil demon man. Oh, I don't know which way I'm pointing, but yeah, no, that guy's been against you.
Well, I mean,
That guy's been saying some awful shit
they-
about your girlfriend. He's been saying some real nasty shit. So if you want to come after him, by all means, send the Swifties on him. I told him he doesn't want that smoke. He keeps on poking the bear. I'm telling him that's not the way you want to do it. But just letting you know. Big fan. Love you guys. Big fan of love here. I think you guys are gonna make it. I'm not one of these guys making the jokes about the album. Oh, she's gonna make another album out of it. The only album she's gonna make for you is a wedding album. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying you guys are good. I love it. I'm glad to see it. And in fact, for me, more Taylor. A lot of people saying, stop showing Taylor on TV. Stop showing her at these games. Me, you see her swag, surfing, doing all this shit. Come on.
That's beyond stupid.
You can't hate someone having fun at a football game. Everybody was like, oh, she's going to be in a super heated suite. She's not going to have it. What does she do? She opened the windows. She's high-fiving or high-four-ing everybody because it was Rice who scored. Number 4. So she's high for. She's even got the goofy little football things that
you know what she do afterwards? She closed the window. Afterwards,
how
she closed the window. How do you not
love this girl? I love this girl. I love everything about her. I love her going nuts for football and loving it the way we do now. She curses at the refs. She cheers. She screams. She's all for it. All the Taylor Swift haters out there, back the fuck up. All right, Taylor, you good. You go with me, girl.
Travis, I'll show you some of the text messages he sends me about her.
No, you won't. No, you won't.
All right, you want to do our playoff picks?
No, I don't. But I guess we will because we kind of have to, don't we? We're kind of we're a football show here after all.
Kind of.
Well, I mean, we're a sports show, but ostensibly we're a football show. Although if you look at me, it looks like I'm a fucking book reader here, which I am. I actually I got a new book for Christmas. I got to start reading. So.
Jimbo Gauge, Volume 1.
No, actually a real book. Actually, a real good book with things and plots, characters. Pictures? Very nice. No picture. No picture.
That's a boring story.
Not a big. Jimbo, who is presenting our picks this week? I have a guess who it is, but I want you to tell me who it is.
Dubby Energy Drinks.
Good old Dubby back again. People are like, man, Dubby really sponsors you guys, gives you guys a lot of money. No, but I'll tell you what they do. Is they help you guys out. They don't help us out too much, but they're going to help you guys out. Why is that? Because they have the energy. They have the energy that you need to get through your day and to focus on the task at hand, whether that's gaming, which seems to be their kind of main focus, but you can use it for anything. Watching sports like me and Jimbo do, studying if you're in school, reading a book if you're just a nerd like me. Whatever you're doing, Dubby's going to have the energy for you to go ahead and focus on that. Great thing about it too, Jimbo, for someone like me who's a diabetic, or even if you're just a health conscious person, no sugar. There's no sugar in there, so you're not going to get that sugar rush. And then you're going to crash. Not going to have that. It's going to be great. It's going to be just bang, 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 focus and energy. Also, Jimbo, I know you know this, but I'm going to act like you don't because it's part of the read. Neurofactor helps your brain, helps your focus, helps you think. What other energy drink does that? None that I can think of. Why? Because only Dubby has that neurofactor. Here's the other key for you. This is where the bit comes about. Well, they don't help us out, but they help you out. They're definitely going to help you out. Because if you go to dubby.gg right now, well, after the show, but still, go to dubby.gg. You go look up anything you want there. They have the tumblers as the ambulance goes by my house here. That you go ahead, the shakers for your stuff. They have all the different flavors. They have a flavor trial pack there where you can try all the different flavors they have. They even have some merch. Whatever you get when you check out, in the promo code, as I burped, in the promo code, ST Sports 18. That's what you want to put in there. ST Sports 18, all capital letters. You're going to get 10% off of your entire order. Jimbo, that's a lot in this economy.
Oh yeah.
In this economy, and in these Bidenomic times, that's a huge huge amount of money that you're going to be saving. Thanks to Dubby. Jimbo, what's the tagline?
Be better.
There you go. I really listen. I put a lot of effort into doing these W reads. I really wish they would start, actually giving us somebody. That'd be nice. Although, like I said, the tens and tens of viewers, I guess makes that hard.
So with that also being said, for everybody that's listening, make sure you share the podcast with friends, family. As long as everybody's
just throw it out there. Be like, hey, I watch these guys. There's a really fat, large idiot there.
A really skinny idiot.
There's a smaller, skinnier idiot there, and I find them entertaining.
Smaller, fat idiot. Because I'm not skinny.
You're skinnier than me, so I mean that I think works out. But either way, we know who we are. But I'd like to think that we're entertaining. I like to think that I'm entertaining.
Yeah.
I like to think Jimbo, in his own special way, is entertaining. And we try. I know a lot of people don't like hearing us talk or hear me talk. I love hearing myself talk. I don't know if you can tell that. I love it. Dulcet tones, very nice. Anyway, off topic, Jimbo. What many consider to be the greatest week of the year, especially when it comes to football, but maybe for the whole year. It's almost like a football religious holiday. The divisional playoffs, maybe the best football weekend of the year. Let's start off. What do we got for the first game on Saturday?
First off, why is it wild card weekend and then it's divisional round?
Because when they added the two other teams, it went from 4 games on wild card weekend to 6. So it went from wild card weekend to super wild card weekend because you added 2 more games. Divisional round is still the same divisional round as it was before. So
yeah, but they should rebrand it. But
but what?
I don't know, like big divisional round.
Divisional round.
Chaos divisional round,
No, I like it. Just the divisional round, man. It sends chills down your spine when you just say the divisional playoffs. A little John Facenda there.
No holds barred divisional round.
This is why you're not in marketing. This is why I make the logos. This is why I try to do all that stuff. Because
we
when it
just
comes to marketing,
lost our 12 viewers.
No. What's the game, Jimbo?
Okay, so Saturday we have at 4:30 on ABC, ESPN, Texans versus Ravens. Now, last week we did straight up, right? I think that's how we were doing this.
Yeah, we weren't doing points.
Yeah. Okay.
What is the spread, though, by the way? You can always get the spread, even if we're not using it.
So, I mean, this is according to ESPN. Baltimore's favored by 9.
Okay, so that's what the bet ESPN at. Baltimore by 9. Like I said, that's a big number. I think a lot of that is based on how Baltimore played during the regular season. If the Houston Texans team that has shown up, like especially last week, and has shown up points in this season the way they've played, they're not losing by 9 points.
Yeah.
And I honestly think they have a chance again. We talked about this in depth. I can't believe in Lamar Jackson in the playoffs until he gives me a reason to do so. And I know someone's going to yell at me and say, "Whoa, what about C.J. Stroud?" Well, C.J. Stroud has the same amount of playoff wins that Lamar Jackson does.
True.
How about that? How about that? All right. You want to say some shit to me? I'll say that to you. Lamar Jackson's 1-3 in the playoffs. C.J. Stroud 1-0. Boom. I'm gonna go on the limb here. I'm picking Houston. I'm gonna pick the Texans to make it.
Okay. So just out of curiosity, I clicked the game on ESPN. I wanted to see what the percentage predictor is, and Baltimore is predicted 81% compared to.
So that's 81% of the people that are on there that click the thing say that Baltimore's winning.
Yeah. With that being said, I'm taking Houston. I think I'm gonna ride Houston.
Why you gotta steal my thunder? Why you gotta steal my thunder?
Because last week I was like 4-0 and you were like 0-4, so I'm smarter than you with picking football games.
So then why are you following me?
Yeah, that's true.
If anything, you should be like, oh, you know what? You're right. Baltimore's winning this game on a landslide.
But maybe this week you're gonna start your winning streak here. So I'm gonna ride your coattails here. But how CJ Stroud's playing, and that team is just playing like no care. Like there's no pressure. They don't show any pressure or anything like that.
Listen,
Like
they could fall flat on their face this week. They could.
They could.
I just don't think they will.
Yeah. So I'm going with the Texans also. All right, Saturday, 8:15. Green Bay Packers versus 49ers. And our last pick was just straight up. We just want to.
Yeah, we're just doing straight up. We're telling you what the spread is.
Yeah.
But we're just doing straight up. And clearly in that one, if we're taking Houston, clearly we're taking the 9 points there as well. So I mean, you can infer what you want from that.
Yeah. This game is San Fran favored by 9.
Okay, so the Santa Clara 49ers against the Green Bay Packers. I listen.
The San Fran 49ers.
Well, Santa Clara, yeah. Santa Clara is like 60 miles away from San Francisco. So I want to thank the Green Bay Packers for their service to the NFL, to America, really, and completely dismantling and embarrassing the Dallas Cowboys. That was glorious. And also, I think we all need to shut up now because I think it's clear that Jordan Love. I mean, the Packers they don't fucking miss when it comes to getting quarterbacks, do they?
Yeah.
Fucking Christ, you know. And listen, maybe this is a thing. Maybe people will finally start to realize, hey, maybe if you just have your quarterback sit for 2 or 3 years, they come in better. You know, like you don't have to throw them out there immediately and crush their spirits. Like having patience works. And because that's it. Jordan Love in his first couple of years, when you saw him, didn't look great. People were saying he was a bust all over.
Yeah.
Now he's busting all over everybody. And he's just busting all over. So that being said, though, I can't pick against the Niners. I can't. They are that team, and outside of stubbing their toe against the Ravens, which was a hell of a stub. Don't get me wrong. The only question would be the whole rest versus rust.
Yeah.
You know, Purdy hasn't played in 3 weeks. A lot of their players haven't. Are they going to be prepared? Are they going to be ready? You know, Levi Stadium's not really a huge home field advantage like some of these other stadiums are. So you can kind of look at it that way. But like if we're just going to talk based on talent and ability, and like I got to go with the Santa Clara 49ers on this one.
All right, so you're going with San Fran. Okay.
And what was the point spread on that one?
That one is San Fran by 9. Think they cover?
I don't know if I take the 9, but I would take the Niners. I would take maybe that's a sign. Take the Niners and the 9. You know. But straight up money line, straight up just a straight up bet. I'm taking the Niners.
I'm going Green Bay, and especially if they run the ball like they did against Dallas. I think they're supposed to
get himself a fucking day, didn't
he? Yeah, and I think they're supposed to be getting Dylan back as well, so they should have both their key running backs back, which should take some of that pressure off of Jordan Love from Bosa and the rest of that pass rush. I think this is gonna be a close game, though. I think it's gonna be closer than what people think it's gonna be. I say 3-4 points difference.
Well, that's it. People in Vegas think it's going to be 9 points. I don't think it's that at all. I don't think it's going to be close to that. I'm with you. I think it's going to be a closer game than that. Green Bay has shown that they can play, and they can play on the road. And like I said, of the places to go that are like hostile environments, Levi Stadium is not that place.
Yeah.
Like maybe if they were still playing at Candlestick, sure, but they ain't. When you have to travel 60 ass miles to go and watch your team, and it's kind of a shitty stadium to begin with. It's and they gave it another Super Bowl, so whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see the Packers keeping it close. I think the Niners are just too talented and too good of a team to let that go. But I mean, listen, anything. We didn't see the Packers doing what they did last week, so it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Okay, so going to Sunday now, because there's only 2 games there, 2 games Sunday. Sunday, 3 p.m. on NBC. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers travel up to the cold weather Detroit Lions.
It's going to be a tough, rough outdoor game there in Detroit.
Yeah, going from the bus to the stadium.
Might chill your nipples a bit.
Might get frostbite and knows that 13-second walk.
Listen.
And the spread is Detroit by 6.5.
Detroit still scares me because they have been inconsistent a lot this season.
Yeah.
And again, we're dealing with a situation where if Baker can cook, if they can stop dropping balls, the Buccaneers are a threat. But this is where we start talking about, like I talked about, how Santa Clara isn't really that much of an advantage for San Francisco. Watching Ford Field last week, where they had the place packed an hour before the game started.
Yeah.
Where it was loud, the whole game, where it was loud and didn't stop. That's one time where I agree with the coach. Like Dan Campbell came out and said, fans really helped us win this game, man. Really helped us. I think that was a huge part of it and a huge advantage for the Lions. I think Tampa keeps it close. I'm not going to say a score because I don't know. And listen, it might be a 6-point game, but it's not 6.5. So if you're going to take the hook, take the hook. But I think the Lions win this game. I think the Lions see it. I think they're too close to it now to let it go. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
See what I did there?
Yes, Eminem.
Better lose yourself. I think the Lions win. I'll pick the Lions.
I'm gonna have to agree with you. Detroit is just it just feels like it's their time. At least to make it to the Super Bowl. With the 6.5-point spread, I kind of agree with you. I think it's going to be closer than that. And I think that defense, at least the defensive line, will be able to keep Baker Mayfield from cooking. I think hit him a couple times, give a little elbow to the ribs.
Aiden Hutchinson is a fucking dog, dude.
Yeah.
I love that kid.
He's not small either. He's not small. He's a big boy.
He's a big Michigan boy.
Yeah.
And he's big. He's fast. He's big, fast, and hard, baby. Hard. He's a difference maker.
Yes.
That's the thing. He's a playmaker. He's a difference maker, and it's something like he's a TJ Watt-ish presence on that Lions defense, to where they are a different team if he's on that field to when he's not, if he's injured. So him just being there is going to be that's what I mean. I think that's the difference. And I love Baker. And I said, I think if he gets cooking, the Buccaneers are going to be a problem. But if you can get Hutch in that backfield against them, that it's going to be tough for him to get going.
Yeah.
So that's part of my thinking is why the Lions will win this game. And that's it with you. they're just so close to it. Like you hope they don't stub their toe.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going with the Lions.
Okay. And then Sunday nightish, 6:30 p.m. on CBS, the Kansas City Chiefs are traveling to snowy Buffalo Bills. I think they're supposed to get another snowstorm, but not obviously as bad as last week.
The Orchard Park Bills there, yeah, they got another 3 feet, I think, today
Holy shit.
from the lake effect. Well, that's the other thing with the lake effect is that you're not quite sure when it's going to hit, and then it just you get it, and you get it when you get it, and it can be a problem, as we've seen. But now this is the first time Mahomes has got to go on the road in the playoffs.
Yeah.
In his career, he's got to go to Buffalo, loud, angry, mafia.
Snowball throwing.
Snowfetti
Philly's criminal.
with the snowfetti they were doing.
Yeah,
That was fun. They were fun.
Throwing the snowballs at the Pittsburgh Steelers receivers.
I think that was fun. There was no batteries in them like there would be if it was Philly. So
how do you know? Maybe there was some ice in there. Just saying.
Which, first of all, this is the Kadarius Tony Toes game, by the way.
Yeah.
Because if he's not off sides, this game is in Kansas City.
Yep.
Or the Bills just aren't in the playoffs. That's the other thing, too. The Bills lose that game, they're probably not in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, like, this whole situation here is now because Kadarius Tony's a moron.
Does Tony dress this weekend? Or do they bench him? But Coach, I'm not hurt. That's okay.
That's fine. We're not risking it. This is hard because, again, which Josh Allen shows up, which Kansas City Chiefs shows up. Both of these teams have shown to be very inconsistent this year. Yeah. Both of these teams have shown to be like I don't know. This one's a rough one for me. Mm-hmm. And this one's, I think, the close. What, the Bills are 2.5?
Yeah, ESPN's is 3.
They have them at 3.
Yeah.
So, man. Again, I would absolutely love to keep seeing Taylor Swift at these games.
Travis, if you're listening.
I think Kansas City has the advantage when it comes to experience.
Okay.
Coming into big games, playing in big games. I think the only thing that they don't have experience with is big games on the road, in the playoffs, in January, with a hostile crowd. They've always had the crowd behind them. They've always had, being at home, even in the cold, even last week when it was -9 degrees to start the game and -23 wind chill. They're at home.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to deal with that when you're home and you can make the trip from your own house. This one is they're flying in. Or is there going to be delays because of the snow? How are they going to get there? Can they get to a hotel? What's the hotel like? Is the hotel any good? Can they get the buses to or from the hotel? What time do they have to leave? Are things going to be anything like that? Getting into the stadium itself. Well, the visitors' locker rooms are not that great at the old, what is it? Highmark Stadium. Used to be Ralph Wilson Stadium. Used to be Rich Stadium. Used to be New Era Stadium. Had so many different goddamn names. There's a lot to be said for that. So give me Josh Allen. Give me Josh Allen. Give me the gunslinger.
Okay.
He's just as likely to throw 4 touchdowns as he is 4 interceptions. But I think the Bills get over that hump. I think they finally get over that hump. And that Chiefs hurdle that they've been unable to get past these last few years. And I think they get it. I think they do it. And if it goes with the way our last picks went, with saying that Houston beats Baltimore, Buffalo will host the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, there you go.
So that would be a big motivator if our picks come to fruition. That's a big other motivator there for them too.
How funny would that be if the Bills were to win and host the AFC Championship? They went from not even being in the playoffs to hosting the AFC Championship
They
game.
went from people wanting to fire the coach. Josh Allen is a bust. He's a scrub.
Yeah.
He fooled everybody. He's fallen off. He hasn't been the same since Dayball left. Like, they were going to blow up the team. The team hates each other. Diggs wants out of there. Look at all the drama. There's drama on the sideline. Oh, they love Al Qaeda.
Yeah.
We went through all of that. So this team could be hosting the AFC Championship game. That'd be something.
That's insane.
That'd be something. So that's a real interesting way. What do you think, Jimbo?
With that being said, I'm going to Bills. I think this momentum they got going, it's just going to keep going. I think Josh Allen's going to play smart, and I think he's going to do a lot more of those fake slides so he can run off a 56-yard run. And I same thing. Like, as long as they stick offensively to what has been working, the running game, mix it in Stephon Diggs, not forcing him the ball. I think that's where they'll get in trouble. If they try to force him the ball, that's where you'll see your Josh Allen interceptions. But I think
Josh Allen isn't known for trying to force the ball into anywhere now, is he?
No. But I think all four of the games, I think this one's going to be the most entertaining one. I think it's going to be the closest one.
I think that's why they put it on Sunday, 6:30. That's the big ticket game right there. And I think that the NFL's not stupid.
Yeah.
The NFL knows Bills, Chiefs, big time game. You have the Chiefs that are this almost dynastic kind of run here.
Yeah.
You got the Bills trying to get over that hump, trying to get the monkey off the back, like you had mentioned before about Lamar. Them beating the Chiefs in the playoffs would be such a weight lifted from that franchise and the fan base's shoulders. That would be quite the run. So, there's our picks. I have Houston, San Francisco, Detroit, and Buffalo. That is my 4 picks this weekend. Jimbo, yours are?
I got Houston, Green Bay, Detroit, and Buffalo. So
the Green Bay and San Francisco game is the only game we disagree on, which would set up, if mine goes, would be Detroit at San Francisco for the NFC Championship game, and it would be Houston at Buffalo for the AFC Championship game. And if your picks happen, it would be, how great would that be, though? The Packers at the Lions for the NFC Championship game. How great. Like, if you're a Lions fan, you kind of almost hope the Packers beat the Niners.
Yeah.
Because not only do you get the NFC Championship game at home, but it's against the team that
you just muted yourself.
with my phone here. Sorry.
Yeah, so we didn't hear what you just said. Your phone
I didn't put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I had a phone call there. But I was saying, what a like, if you're a Lions fan, like, to have the Lions at home for the NFC Championship game against the team that has tormented you for the last 50 years.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to be salivating at that. So if you're a Lions fan, you're almost rooting for the Packers.
Yeah.
To beat the Lions. Like, that's.
And that would be a hell of a game.
That would be a fun one to watch. I don't know what's going to happen. Again, I like the Packers. I think it's a good story, but let's not forget that Joe Barry still runs that defense.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe he just got lucky one
You know,
game.
There's still, like, they had a great game against the Cowboys team that choked in the playoffs, which seems to be the Cowboys' MO. So I don't know if San Francisco is going to do that, but stranger things have happened. We will see.
Yeah.
Outside of that, anything else? Any other news? Anything else we want to go over?
No, but was it Travis Kelce the one calling you to have a little talk with you?
I don't know. It did seem to have a Missouri number, so I don't know. I don't know if that was him. I don't know if that's Taylor's burner phone, or a lawyer. Like, I don't know. There's probably cease and desist coming, or something like that. But or maybe it was an invitation. I don't know. You know, I think me and Taylor and Travis, we'd have a good intellectual conversation. You know, and my fiance as well, or my wife. She loves Taylor, and she will be.
We all know what kind of conversation you want to have. But that being said,
Jimbo, I am not a savage. I am not someone like I have manners. I have decorum.
the worst mouth I've ever heard in my life.
Just because what I say in private with my friends and loved ones is one thing, does not mean that is how I always act. You know, we are not. We are not always the worst parts of our nature.
I know what kind of conversation you would have. And it's a very
I would have
good
a
one.
very deep philosophical, we would talk about, things that, I think interest everybody. The universe, space and time, physics, literature, poetry, a lot of great shit like that. I love that kind of stuff, and that's how that would go, because that's what you do in polite company. Now, if you're friends with people for a while, again, like you and I have been for almost 12 years now,
Yeah,
and things of that nature, then conversations get into the more abstract and silliness that we do, little silly gooses that we can be. But this trying to paint me as some kind of pervert or as some kind of deviant, degenerate.
you are a Devils fan.
It's not. At least it's not a Flyers fan.
Yeah, we're smart and intelligent too.
You people puke on children. I don't want to hear
it. So till next week, this is your good friend Jimbo.
And it's your boy King.
See you later.
Stop puking on kids.